Hi, everyone. It's Marilyn Allori, and welcome to Who Can It Be Now? And today is a very, very, very special pod party because I am with my Soul Stars from Membership for Your Soul. And we were talking very briefly, well, they were chatting in the chat, and I was talking with them very briefly in the chat about what it is that they feel that they really want to learn right now. Something that I have been focusing on recently is creating a business from the inside out. And I've been very focused on creating my own business from the inside out in ways that where I'm not getting caught up on people's sales tactics or, do this or do that. And this is going to, if you join this course, you're going to make $100,000 in 3 months and all the kind of nonsense that's out there that's been really getting on my nerves. And I've really been learning how to cultivate my own personal experiences in life. How do I say this? What I mean is I'm really learning how to come from the inside out and not get all the noise and distractions that's happening outside of me and allowing it to affect me. And it's really been a very powerful place to be, but it also can be a very unnerving place at times, because I'll sit here and I will look at my business and look at what I want to grow and what I'm passionate about and look at my life too. And then, of course, just at that moment, at the perfect opportunity, somebody's thing flashes by my screen. I just made 500K this month, and it's not all about money, but it's things like that that you see and you're like, how'd they do that? Or are they really telling the truth? Or do they have a good life with all of that? So there's been that kind of experience happening for me. And I really want to tap into the Soul Stars today and really get to a place of what I think it boils down to is worthiness. And what I've learned recently is my own worthiness and how I hold my worthiness in the world. And the more that I find my own value of myself, the more I am expanding and growing and cultivating my business, cultivating what I do, not apologizing for it, standing in the power of who I am. I've noticed, how many of you guys have noticed that you're a person who stands in truth? And when you stand in a crowd of people, now it could be 2 people, it could be 10 people, with your truth, do they run away like cockroaches? Has anybody had that experience where you go into a room or a group of people and you're in your truth and people are just scurrying away because they cannot handle being in their truth? I would love to hear about that. So Sandra said I had the opposite occur yesterday. So what was that, Sandra? Unmute yourself.
I was parked in a completely empty parking lot and a woman came and parked right beside me. I think you might have seen that post.
Yeah.
And when I moved my vehicle, because her vehicle, she left it running, I moved my vehicle because I had my windows open. She moved over with me. She literally moved over and stuck her car beside mine again. And so I moved again to get away from her again. And she looked at me like I was completely wacky. But yeah, she was just attracted to me in a big way.
Yeah, to your healing energy and everything, which happens too. And then we get these toxic people sometimes that are attracted to us and we're like, no, I'm not going to take this on. Good for you. Okay, great. So I think what I want to do today is I want us to work with, let's do this. I'm going to do something different than what I normally do. I want to have at least 3 of you, and I want you to keep it very short because I don't like a lot of story. And I want you to, you can raise your hand, or you can say, raise your hand. I think you can raise your hand on this, right? Or not, because we're in a meeting group. Or just put in the chat that you want to talk. I want to know what is your biggest struggle right now. And remember, this goes out on the podcast. So that's what I want to know. But you have to give it to me in a minute or less. Otherwise, I'm going to cut you off. Barbara. Oh, she raised her hand and then she put her hand down when I gave those rules.
I was showing you that you can raise your hand. Okay. Unless I'm going to get in the hot seat right now, but let me think about it. Yeah, that was just a demonstration.
Okay, great.
But yes, we can.
Okay,
oh,
Sharon.
And I should have lowered it. So.
Okay, Sharon, go ahead. Thank you for that, Barbara.
I'm muting. Okay. Right now, it's the health issue for me because it's holding me back tremendously.
What is it about the health issue? What's your health?
It's a compilation of things. It's my car accident, it's recovering from surgery, and it's everything all combined. And physical therapy is slower than anything. And it's very frustrating.
So what is that keeping you from doing?
Focusing, writing, sitting, basically doing anything because I can't get out of my head. It's like constant pain, constant, no matter what I try to do.
Where's the pain?
All over. Like the
And
head. Yeah, it's the head, it's the neck, it's the back, it's the abdomen, it's everything right now.
and how long have you had this?
Well, surgery was last week, so it's a week today.
Well, you just had surgery. Geez.
Yeah. I just had surgery. And my physical therapy, I've been going for about a year and a half because the accident happened and then COVID happened. So I couldn't get the help that I needed immediately.
Right, exactly.
So it was like a 2-year lag before I could even, like a year and a half, 2 years before I could even do anything to treat it.
Okay. So are all you focused on is the pain?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying to do things to get me out of it, to stay positive and focus. And I celebrate the little things because when I can actually walk or I can actually do something because I have like no grip strength, you know what I mean? Or if I have like a really good physical therapy session, like I celebrate that because I
Why
can
do
see
you
like the small
think
gains.
that, first of all, I'm very sorry that you're going through this.
No,
So
thanks.
let's just put that there first. Right now. But why do you think, like, if this is happening in your life, no matter what, Sharon, no matter
Yes.
what, it is taking place. What do you think, if everything, I listened to Jay-Z the other night and he was like, everything happens for me, not to.
Yes.
So if this is happening for you for whatever reason, and again, I have sympathy around it, why would this be happening for you?
It's happening for me because it doesn't want me to fall back to what I used to do, which is education and teaching. And I know this. And the funny thing was the day of my car accident, I was thinking about actually going back to substitute teaching as I was heading to the Apple store to train video production and video editing. And it was like, I got hit and it's kind of like, you're not supposed to be doing this. You need to transition, move past, but I don't know how to move past.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then what is it that you want to do?
That's the $1 million question.
Well, then if you don't know where you want to go, you're going to stay in the place that you're in. And I beg to, and Sharon, you know, I love you so much.
Yes.
I adore you. But
you have to. We're from the same place.
I know it's not even that. It's your heart and your soul and your honesty and everything.
I know.
Love you. But here's the thing, Sharon. And I think, and we've had this conversation before because you said that you don't really feel like you struggle with this, but I really believe that people that don't own what they want to do, they struggle with believing whether they can do it or not. Do you disagree with that?
No, I actually think that's fair and I agree. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, let's work through
So
this.
It might be a fear of success.
It could be, but to me, it all boils down to self-worth for me. Now, I'd love to know what other people think, but that's what I think. Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fine with that. All right. Feel better, sweetie. I'm sending you love.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like one more person and then we're going to move on. Anybody else? All right. Come on, guys. Stop being shy. You know, I'll call on someone then. You're ruined. He was reaching over for the mute button. You're ruined. Oh, he actually went off camera. No, there he is. Okay.
Yeah. Accidentally threw myself off camera. Okay, so you know there's a lot going on. I've got a divorce that I'm going through, got issues with kids, issues with work. I'm going to be in a different job. I'm going to move. So there's a lot going on. And it's really, with the whole family, we've just been on a vacation and it's actually been very healing for me. So it's interesting. And so that's where I'm at.
Are you in a lot of fear, anxiety? What are you in with all of this? Do you trust the outcome?
Yeah, I trust it. And then at a lot of moments I don't. When I'm aware of it, I trust. And when I'm not aware, I don't trust. It's basically it. Goes in and out.
Goes in and out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you were to wave a magic wand, what would be the feeling you would have all the time around these issues?
Wow. Like I've moved through it all, and I get a break, like rest and calm and clarity.
Rest and calm. And did you say clarity?
Yeah.
So would you venture to say, after what you just said, that if you trusted that everything was going to be okay, no matter what happened, would you be able to have the rest and the calm and the clarity now, even if the things seemed confusing and clouding, but you knew that they were going to head to a solution, that everything was okay, that you were protected, that your back was watched, that the spirit had your back? Would you be able to experience rest, calm, and clarity?
And I experienced that. Like I said, it's I trust that I'm going to be okay, and I get it from different angles that I'm going to be okay. I get supported in many different ways, and but still, when things sort of calm down and I have to start working on things, arranging things, it's sort of the anxiety sort of comes back.
So then that means you don't look, I get it, Jeroen, so I am not like picking on you saying you should be in a better place or anything like that. What I have found recently is when I finally stepped into everything is going to be okay, just recently, it's amazing how much my anxiety went down so many notches. And I started connecting to a new energy of God for me. So what also was coming up for me was confidence. Are you confident in the decisions and the choices you're making?
I guess I'm not.
I don't
Because
know. I don't want to put words ever in your mouth. I don't
no,
know.
but it's like you're asking me questions that I haven't asked myself yet. So
Okay,
it's
good.
hard to like get the answer out like that.
Great.
So it's like I got sort of a vision, like what it's going to be, and it's like I've got a sort of sketch and I need to color it in some way. And I'm working on that, but at the same time, I don't know. You know, when I notice it a lot, it's in my dreams.
Yeah.
My dreams are really wonky at the moment. So it's
Are you writing them down every day?
on and off.
Okay. So something I've been doing too is writing them down, not when I'm in bed, because if I wrote them down in bed, I wouldn't get out of bed for like an hour because it would take that
Yeah.
long to write them down. But I write them down when I'm journaling, even if I just remember snippets. And what's happening is it's starting to make a weaving, a thread of a story, and
Yeah.
everything that, like, it's amazing to me how one theme keeps showing up. I'm like, wow, this is so important. This is so important. This is so important. It's all about new home for me, pretty much, and home in my soul. And then today I finally booked a trip to check out a place that I want to move. But it took forever to make that. Thank you, Sandra. It took forever to
Yeah.
do that because I have anxiety about traveling. So I want to offer up to you, you don't have a lot of time. The other thing that's coming up for me with
You
you,
missed this one
Jeroen,
someplace
is,
along the line.
oh, who's
Oh.
that?
There's the
All right.
I
appeal
always
for
love
it.
when the
Gia.
voices come
But
in.
let's
Gia.
double check and make sure we never built that.
I'll mute her. Don't worry. Thank you, honey. The other thing that I want to make you aware of is, where did it go? It'll come back to me. Oh, I know what it is. You always hold everybody else because you're always taking care of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard, and that's important. You have a family, right? But we want to be able to separate so we can take care of you so that you can then take care of the family, or at least hold space for the family. So that's it. Okay. Great. All right. I maybe want to take one other person, but then I want to move on because I'm already getting the idea of what I want to do. Is there anybody? Thank you so much, Jeroen, for your honesty and for your vulnerability and transparency. Anybody else? People are afraid of me. Oh, Barbara. Now Barbara's ready.
Okay. Let me put this down first. I think what I struggle with most is the being involved and being interested in so many different things. And I know we've talked about this before, and I'm sort of coming to terms or being comfortable with that to a degree. But it's still, I think, I just struggle with sort of releasing some things in order. And I believe that, if I could release some of that, make that space that my connection with my guides or those messages or that, that higher guidance would be more clear, or I'd be able to make. And part of it just being involved in a lot of things is I don't take time to do the work. And I don't want to call it work, but to say, ground in the practice of whatever. And then again, there's so many different avenues, for that, whether it's meditation or, artwork or
Is there any one of
courses.
those? Did you say horses?
Courses and whatnot.
Is there any?
There's sessions that I've got on the list that I have. Shaman, work with shamanism or animal communication. So I've got different courses that I've started, and I find I don't have the time to really delve in. So I want to set aside time for that, but that time just doesn't. Anyway,
Well, there's a couple
so
of things.
focus
Okay.
is an issue.
As I try to get her to the end question. Anyway, some of it may be, Barbara, that you don't necessarily need to take the course that you purchased. So that may sound counterintuitive to someone who sells digital courses. Like, here I am selling digital courses, but sometimes I buy courses and it takes me months before I get to them. Some of them I don't go to at all. And I don't get upset about it. It's okay. I bought it for the reason, whatever I needed, and then I moved past it. But here's the one thing I want to offer up to you. Is there one thing that you can do every single day that connects you to your spiritual practice that you can commit to doing every single day?
Well, that's what I haven't grounded into.
Well, I think you're making it more
I'm making-
complicated than it has to be. So what's something you could do for 5 minutes every single day that would just, because all you need to see is for yourself is, wow, I journal every single day, no matter what. Even if I have a really early plane, if I can't do it before I get on a plane, I'm doing it on the plane because I have to get my thoughts out. So just one thing, sweetie, I don't want anybody to hear that I'm saying you're doing something wrong. You're not. We're trying to enhance a better life. So
well, it's grounding into what that is. And yes, journaling in the morning, recording your dreams, but I don't keep up with it. So one thing I will say is, in the morning and at night, that 5 minutes of gratitude, have your, whether it's a gratitude journal, but at least
does that excite you?
Grounding into that.
Does that excite you? Is that a spiritual practice that's like, oh my goodness, if I don't journal, Sandra's a journaler. If I don't journal, I'm like, I can't start my day. Don't talk to me. Somebody, my assistant today was like, oh, they could meet you at 8 a.m. to have an interview. And I'm like, I'm not doing any interviews at 8 a.m. You're out of your friggin' mind. Like, I need my morning. So honey, think about something. You can figure it out today while we do this work. But I want one thing that you're super excited to do every single day for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Just one thing. Is there something you wanted to say?
Like cuddle with my cats and pay attention to them every morning. It's like I love doing that.
Is that growing your spirituality? It may be. And is that something you already do? And can you do something spiritual with it that is growing your spirituality?
Well, it would be the practice of, the animal communication and really landing into that with a, with real heart connection to see if that grows. I don't know. That's more of a practice. Yeah.
Is that exciting? I just heard a meow.
Yeah, there's. Well, I have I've got 4 now. I got 2 new ones. So
the cat's like, meow. That's it.
Yep.
So,
okay. Well, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's
There's
the thing
confirmation.
Here's the thing that I find spiritual people do. Yes, we have a lot of interest, but we also tend to distract ourselves. And you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you want to succeed, which I believe you do, and I know you do, then there's got to be new habits formed that make you stay focused on a particular thing. But you don't want to try to stay focused on something that does not interest you.
Mhm.
Sometimes we buy a course and we're like super excited, but then when we sit down to do it, we're not excited. I've bought courses that now I love digital courses, by the way, because I can do them on my own time. And I go up to my kitchen and I turn off all distractions and I just spend 90 minutes just studying that course. But if it's a course that I start watching and I'm not interested in, I let it go. I don't make myself wrong for not doing it, move on to the next thing.
Well, I do find a lot of them overlap. So as I've been doing different things, like there's a
Right.
lot of overlap. So
Right.
it's not like I have to do this and I have to do that, because I do
Right.
feel it all weaves together, and it will weave together in whatever basket I choose to weave. And
Yep.
so far as getting a business going or something, I mean, I'm just still weaving my basket. So there's lots of tools in there, and I pull them out periodically. But to have an offering, but that doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not worried about that, or I don't want to spend any more time on the computer just dealing with clients and all the rest of it. It's
You do if
I
you're excited about what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I haven't come to that point
Yeah.
to pick that feather, to have that
Okay.
one thing.
Okay.
Not to say it won't come, but that's
All right.
so one
I
thing.
want you to notice when you do this a bit. Forgive me, and I love you, but I want you to say, just answer the question. All I want from you today, Barbara,
Yep.
and it's okay because you're working through everything and stuff. I want to know what you're going to do every single day that you're excited about, that's going to grow your spiritual practice. And what I mean by your spirit, we already know you're hugely spiritual. What I mean by that is a spiritual practice that is journeying towards purpose, journeying towards excitement of what you want to do, what you want to open up to, how you want to serve community, how you want to be with people. Okay. So I want a 5-minute practice every single day that I want you to come through today. Okay. Commitment's an issue. You can change it, but you've got to do it for at least 7 days. I would want to say 21, but I'm going to say 7 days. Okay. All right. I'm not hearing any
Okay. Walking on the
reluctance here.
grass,
You're
barefoot on the grass every morning.
That's fine. You can also, we're gonna do a little thing right now. So let's see what happens. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, it takes 21 days. I even think it takes a little longer than 20 days, but I know they say 21 days to create a habit, which is true. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play with you in different ways. We're gonna use clairvoyancy. I think we're gonna use clairaudience. We're gonna use different gifts. But what I want you to do is to connect with divinity, connect with infinite intelligence, connect with source, whatever source is to you. So we're going to work with the energy of infinite intelligence, divine energy. To me, it's God, right? So whatever it is to you, it's that energy where you are completely in unconditional love. You don't feel separation, you feel oneness, and you're also very, very clear about your worth on this earth and why you're here. Whether you know in words why you're here, you are going to tap into something as to why you're here. Is everybody okay with that? All right. So close your eyes. I want you to, when you're breathing through your body, I want you to notice there's little crimped up pieces of energy. And what these things, they may look like little crimped up pieces of ball. They may look like energy. What these are the places inside of us that are, I can't do this. I should be further along. Any kind of story that you tell yourself that is keeping you from receiving information from source that is going to connect you with your lifeline, why you're here, and what you're meant to do. And you're not allowed to back away from that conversation with yourself. And I'm going to say something, just keep breathing in your body and use your breath as a healing energy to breathe away any friction that keeps you separate. That's the idea. And the thing that I want everybody to know as I do this is that it's not important. I don't believe in one purpose. I really don't. I believe in an evolution of purposes. I do believe that there, if it's a job, or even if it's just how you hold, which is more important, how you hold yourself in your life. When you tap into that, it is so exciting, so passionate and inspiring. And the other thing that it does for you is it helps you to stand in the power of who you are, create boundaries, and it helps you to know what to say no to and what to say yes to. So it's not about us today finding your ultimate reason for being here. It is about connecting and remembering that there is something super incredibly magical and special about you. And that's why at this time on this planet, you are here. So when you're breathing through your body and releasing things that you no longer need, I want you to see like a trap door opening, and whether it's at the bottom of your feet or the bottom of your first chakra. And as you're sending breath through your body, because you have all the healing energy you need, you are just releasing everything down to Mother Earth. And actually, it is getting sucked down like a vacuum. And it is going way away. And they're not sucking anything bad, good out. It's only the stuff that keeps you from remembering who you are. Spirit is saying, so a lot of times what spiritual people struggle with is really being seen and heard. And it's what I started the whole conversation out with is I stand so much in my truth and I'm so direct that I've noticed not everybody can handle it, right? And I'm done with making myself less than or smaller so that other people feel better. Anybody who doesn't understand that I come from a complete amount of love, I can't worry about it. If I say something that's disruptive or mean, which I don't normally do, but it could be interpreted that way, I will acknowledge it if somebody confronts me. I want you to really own who you are, own your truth. What is your truth right now? Who are you today? And add to that, like, if you're like, I am a magnificent person and I just really care about other people, add that in, like, add in what is it that you love about other humans, other beings? What is it that you would love for them to see in themselves? Now hold out your right palm, and you don't have to hold it out physically if you don't want to because the camera's on, whatever makes you feel stronger. And in your right palm is a ball of light. And I want you to see that ball of light. And I want you to just feel it. And I want you to recognize that this ball of light is just, it's full of love. It has so much love in it that you probably can't receive it. There's so much love for you in this ball of light. And I want you to notice that you're holding it. It's not leaving you. It's not disappearing. It's not falling through your hands. And it may want to take another shape, or it may have a certain energy to it, like sparks, or a different type of energy than love. Just notice what that is. And I want you to place this ball of light out in the universe. You're going to choose where it goes. And when this ball of light goes out into the universe, it also goes into your physical being. So it's out in the universe, but it's also in your physical being. And as you breathe at the ball of light that's in the universe, it's breathing inside of you. Now, this ball of light is becoming what you term to be infinite intelligence, divine, the divine, God, the universe. It's the ultimate energy. And I want you to spend a moment right now getting to know this energy and what it is to you. I want you to define it. And what I mean by that is it filled with unconditional love? Is it filled with all the answers that you need? Is it filled with full acceptance of you? And if it's not, I want you to fill it with those things. And I want you to notice how that vibrates inside of you, and also notice how it sounds. And I want you to notice if you were to touch it, what it would feel like physically. What does it smell like? Now, I want you to think about the one answer you need today in order to always know that you are worthy, that you matter, that you are never separated, that you're okay, that peace is always there. And whatever else you feel like you need to embody every single day in order to really trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be and that you're moving in the exact direction, and you're not going to hesitate to make the choices or the decisions that continue to grow your presence in this world. What question, and then I'm going to get quiet for a second because I'm pulling up stuff because they're talking to me that we're going to play with and you're going to do a reading. What question do you have right now that you would ask infinite intelligence if you could? So I'm going to pull up a picture in a second, if I can find one, that is going to, that you're going to read for yourself. So just bear with me a second because it's just eluding me. And I guess it's because it's hard to find a picture of God. All right. So I'm just going to pull something else up. And in the meantime, just think about like, what would you do every single day to connect with the universe, to connect with source? What would you do every single day to do that? Found one. And when I pull up this picture, I want you to use your clairvoyancy ability. And I want you to let the picture speak to you. I want you to notice where you're drawn, where, just notice, we'll do it piece by piece. So I'm going to share my screen. Just bear with me. There's my screen. And let me just make this picture bigger. Okay, and that makes me smaller. And I'm going to move this. So I want you to use your clairvoyancy. Oh, I realize this is on the podcast. Ooh, Nelly. We will figure out a way to get this picture on the podcast. We'll probably do it on Instagram or put it in the show notes or something if we can. So just look at this picture, or anybody, if you're on the podcast and you're listening, you could just pull up a picture, any picture of nature. Look at this picture and just spend a moment and allow your clairvoyancy to draw you into a specific place in this picture. And I want you to ask guidance why you're seeing this particular place in this picture, why you're seeing this particular place. What does it want you to know? And you're not allowed to say, I don't know, or you're not allowed to say, oh, it's just telling me it's the leaves. You know how I work. You have to do the ... technique. You have to use your imagination. You have to really let it talk to you. So I'm seeing the space between the leaves right here, and I can have a complete dialogue with it. So I want you to do that now. Okay, take another moment. Now go to another place in the picture and listen for a nature sound. Listen for a natural sound. What do you hear? Use your clairaudience. What do you hear? Why are you hearing it? What does universe, source, God want you to know? Why are you hearing it? Now I want you to imagine that you are physically touching something in this picture, and I want you to emotionally connect with it. What are the feelings? I want you to use some of your empathic ability. You may feel what the tree wants you to feel, or the leaf wants you to feel emotionally, or you just may have an experience, but you want to use your empathic ability now, your emotional feeling. I want you to physically imagine you're physically touching something, and then I want to know what you feel. Emotionally, use emotional words. It's amazing to me how many times I say this to people and they can't use emotional words. and then why. Now I want you to sit on the base of this tree. And you've just saw things and heard why. You just heard something and knew why. You felt something and knew why. Now you're going to use a bit of claircognizance. And this tree has infinite wisdom in it because it connects you to your infinite wisdom. And I want you to sit at this tree and summarize the solution for you right now. Do not look for the utmost solution. Just look for the next action steps or what you have to believe in yourself or love about yourself, anything. Spirit will know what to tell you, but you have to trust it. And you can't say, if it's one word, it has to be a super powerful word. So you're sitting, I'm going to get quiet in a second, and you're going to use just the awareness of the download. Allow it to download into you if you can. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Just make it up. But you're going to come up with like a few sentences as to what all of this means for you right now. Now, there's one last thing I'm asking you to do. And I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. But before I do, I'm going to tell you why. There's an obstruction. And it could be a belief. It's most likely a belief of some reason why you can't do it. There's some reason that you continue to tell yourself you can't do it. And there could be some truth in it. It could be financial. It could be pain. It could be, going through a big life transformation. It could be just not knowing what to focus on. But I want you, and please, you know how much I love all of you and that I would never say to you, you're not going through these things. But I want you to see it right now as an obstruction that you need to take your attention off of in order to step into solution. So there is an animal in this tree. It may not make sense as to why this animal is in this tree. And you're going to find it right now. And it is telling you to get over this obstruction and why and how. And it's going to help you to rewrite a new belief. So do that now. Now, all this information, everything you just experienced is going into that ball of light. And you're holding it in the palm of your hands. So I want you to do that right now. And I want you to realize that everything you're going through and everything you need to know and everything action step you need to take and every seemingly impossible thing that may show up, everything, all the infinite wisdom, all the solution It's in the palm of your hands. And if you grow bigger than the thing and make it smaller, you will recognize the power you have inside of you. Send some breath to it. And then stick that out into the ball in the universe. Take that ball and give it to the ball in the universe. And as it spins, it dissolves what you don't need. And it shoots a ray of light, a ball of light into your body again. And now you're connected to something bigger and greater, because just in this short amount of time, you have transformed. Breathe that in. Now take a moment to congratulate yourself for always doing the work, always showing up. We're so hard on ourselves. Recognize it, and recognize you have the right to your feelings. You have the right to everything. Notice how great you are, how special you are. Breathe into your body and really acknowledge yourself with some beautiful words that you say to yourself right now. And in that, in the way that you speak to yourself, take a moment now and do that for a second, because there's something that just dropped in. That is your special gift that you are meant to give to the universe. What you just said to yourself, and it doesn't have to be forever, but Spirit wants you to know that what you just said to yourself is what you can give to others. That you can light that up in others, that you can help others believe it, that you can help others feel it. That you are all of that. Now say your name to yourself 3 times and open your eyes. So we're going to do something else now, okay? But before we do, I just, for the sake of the podcast, because you guys are used to me, you know how I work and all of this, and we're going to do something really fun now, which I'm not going to tell you about just yet. What I recognized going through that, and I definitely used a picture that I have the rights to, which is great. So we'll figure out a way to get it into the show notes of the blog. Otherwise, this won't go out on the podcast. But as I was going into the picture of that tree, I went to the space between the leaves, and something that and I'm using this myself as an example, and I'm going to open it up to you. You'll see what I'm going to do. I was using the space between the leaves and the tree, and I'll bring up the picture again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this space right here, I couldn't even find it. So what was really important to me is I've been really busy, very, very busy lately, especially with all the changes as I'm recording this, the changes that are happening in my own business and stuff. And Spirit, I've been trying to make more space in my calendar to create content, to get the SaaS experience out again, different things, growing NLL, next level living, all the things that I'm doing that I'm so excited by. I just love it. And also this brand new teaching that I'm ready to get out about how you really can own a business and run a business from the inside out. That, yeah, you can learn techniques and tools, but if you're not really engaged inside why you're doing a business, then it's going to fall flat after a while. So this is like all the exciting stuff that I'm doing. So they showed me this space in the trees because they're like, you need to make space in your calendar. You need to make space in your life, and they weren't saying need like reprimanding me. They were just showing me the opportunity and stuff like that. So then when I did the listening part, I heard a babbling brook, river, water. And it was about not only going with the flow, but it's also about how important it is for me to be around water. And this is why I'm moving. Because I need to be near water. I need to be foot in water. I need to just move and flow and go. And then they went to the feeling of it. And the feeling was feeling strong, the trunk, and feeling courageous and feeling really happy because I'm loving what I'm creating. I'm loving that I'm but I decided not to sell the way I normally sell, which really affected things to some degree in my business. And my therapist said to me, do you realize that you said no matter what, you're not going to do it through integrity? You're like, I'm not doing it anymore. I just can't do it. They said, she's like, that's courageous. So I recognized the strength that I had in myself by risking something. And through that risk, solution came in, and I got super excited about new stuff that I'm doing in my life. So then the next thing that happened is the sound was the babbling brook, the feeling, and then the claircognizance of it all, right? So it was like, you have to make space in your calendar to do what you love and to sit by the water and create and allow it to flow and to feel strong. And it's going to help you to feel strong and happy and peaceful and all of that. And then I recognized through that, because I have been really feeling like I am okay completely. I'm getting checks in the mail that I wasn't even expecting. I am getting, people are like, things are just happening. And I'm like, it's because I'm just owning I'm okay. And solutions just dropped in. I can't reveal this yet, but I'm talking to two very powerful people, and we're talking about doing a retreat together. And we just had a meeting today, and I initiated that. And I'm like, oh, the three of us together is going to be phenomenal. That's going to be an amazing retreat. So I'm getting creative. And I even booked a trip today, and I have anxiety over travel. I'm like, no, I'm booking my trip. So because I'm sitting in the space of okay, solutions coming in, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. And it's not like you better do this, you got to do that. It's none of that. So then there was a monkey in the tree. Stop monkeying around. So the obstacle is to just make space and just do it, and not beating myself up over it either. I'm done with that. So you can see how this work is super powerful, right? So now we're going to do something special with you guys, but you got to be ready to be on camera. I want two of you to raise your hand right now. I knew my little Sandra would. So I'm going to pin you, Sandra, and then Barbara. Okay. So let's do Barbara and let's do Sandra. All right. So Sandra, I'm going to have you go first just because I know you really well. You're going to summarize. You got a summary, of course, right? I know you did. I know everybody on this call got a summary because we've been working like this. If anybody didn't, I'll work with them too. I want you're going to take your summary and give it to Barbara. Barbara, this is an initial additional answer to your question. So you have to listen to what Sandra has to say. And Sandra doesn't know your question, doesn't know anything. So Sandra, I know you're a reader, so you may feel into something else, which is totally fine, honey. Do whatever you want. Anybody else who does this, you could just read what you got. Don't worry about being wrong or right.
Okay. So the first thing that I recognized was where I was and that I was reaching for something. Okay. The sound was the chatter of a squirrel and the call of a blue jay. Ask for it, speak it into existence. As I touched the root, it was connection, strength, support, love, joy, happiness. As I sat on the root, it was one foot in front of the other, it tells me. I'm going to give it a voice and continue giving my desires a voice. Past conceptions, past generational blocks of parents and the limiting beliefs, that's the obstruction and that I need to take my eyes off of. And a giraffe came through, and it was behind the tree, but it was rising above. I could see above my old way of thinking, and that it's within myself. It's within you. It's not about gender. It's about you as a light being. And then as I held that sunlight in my hands on that picture, that where that sunlight was coming through, I realized that I was above my old way of thinking already because of this.
Beautiful.
And that the last phrase was, I am all that. And I wrote that down, and then Marilyn literally spoke it as well. I can help others feel that I am all that. And then she said, I am all that. You are all that.
Beautiful. Barbara, just give one sentence of response. Or two to Sandra's reading.
Serendipitous, coincidental, bang on. Some of the images were actually what I had as well.
Right.
Um,
And are you able to receive, is the information valuable to you? And you can say yes or no.
Yes.
Sandra knows how this handled. Okay, great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now you give to Sandra what you want to give to her. And when we do this again, we'll probably just do the summary, but I loved all of that, Sandra. It was so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Barbara, you give to Sandra what you want to give to her now.
So do I interpret what I wrote in that exercise
You can do it the
as
way
an
Sandra
expression?
did it, which was great.
Um,
Right? Give what you wrote down.
the first word I wrote down was embrace. The part of the tree that I focused on was where the branches were reaching around each other. There was almost a, and I just felt everything is connected and part of the whole. We are encircled and you are held in love. The bird song I felt was, been hearing Cardinal lately, and the message to me is that everything communicates with us and vibration runs through us all. It was the vibration of the bird, not so much the type of bird, but just that vibration of nature that resonates with us all. When I touched the base of the tree, I felt it cool and very calming, solid and rooted. And I was really feeling a palpitation in my throat, which I felt, going back to the bird, was being able to express your voice and singing. Singing came to mind. I'm not a great singer, but I thought, so if this message was you, I would say you are asked to sing your voice. Let your voice sing. Let it ring out. And the root of the tree, that grounding, staying grounded every day, feeling into the earth and allowing the power of the earth's energy to keep you grounded. And to take one step at a time with consciousness. And the next step will come when you are ready to move forward. Allow, I can't even read my writing. allow to release. Breathe with intention with each step. My animal that came to me was a squirrel. And squirrel scurries to and fro. They store their nuts for winter. But squirrel plays and jumps from branch to branch and grabs onto each branch with agility and dexterity, but releases in order to jump to the next branch and to move to the next. So hold on to each step. It is one step at a time. We don't have to hurry. Breathe into each step and embrace that, and not to be hurried. And by releasing what grows through that step, then moves forward to the next step.
Right? Beautiful, Barbara. Great job. Sandra?
I'll respond by saying that those final words of "you don't need to be in a hurry" literally answered the ultimate question that I came into that tree with. So thank you so much.
Beautiful. Great job, guys. Good job. Thank you both so much. So now I would love to get one more person, two more people. but I would like it to be, and I may call on someone. I'm thinking, Audrey, do you feel ready to do this? No?
Not really.
Okay,
No.
that's okay. So what I want you to do is just give the summary now, not the whole thing, but the summary. Okay, so I'd love 2 more people that would be willing to do this right now. Raise your hands. No shy people allowed. Okay, we got Cheryl. Great. And then I need 1 more person. Oh, you ruined. Okay, great. And then we're going to do something else. Okay, so give just the summary this time, but as if you're reading your rune, Cheryl, you know how to do this, but you're just going to give him like a summary of answering his question without even knowing his question, which is how we practice when we do a retreat. Like if we practice readings, this is how we're going to practice.
Yeah, the summary that I, sorry, I've been sick and I can't talk much, but the summary that I received is that the path may not always be straight and there's beauty in the curves, and to just follow the lines of the curves. And same with the squirrel, you may need to hop and release to go to that different branch that leads you up into the light, towards higher ground, towards freedom, and towards the light. And by doing so, you are grounded, even though you're raising towards the light.
That's beautiful. Now, before I have him comment, look through your notes and see if there's anything else that jumps out that you really feel you need to tell your room.
To be, breathe, expand, and reach for the light. Trust that your roots are deep and strong, and that you're ready to branch out in all directions.
Love it, Cheryl. Beautiful. Jeroen, what do you want to say to Cheryl?
Thank you, Cheryl. Beautiful. Especially the roots being strong, because that's a thing I keep questioning myself, whether I'm rooted strong enough, and the branches going off in all directions tell me that I can just pick up. I'll just have to go for all things and just go with that. So it's good.
Be open to all possibilities, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Great job. Thank you. All right, Jeroen, you do the same thing with Cheryl. Give her the summary like she gave you.
So before the picture came up, I immediately had the sense you need to stand on your feet, feel like it almost painful, ground your feet, like stand on wooden balls or something. And then I saw the picture of the tree coming up, made perfect sense. I saw the light in the tree, like the starlight, which had 6 beams shooting out in all directions. And to me, it represented 2 things. First of all, look beyond the darkness that you may experience now, because there's light beyond and there's many possibilities, but also you're the light within yourself. And it's like the star of Nazareth, that is pointing you in the right direction. I heard birds singing loudly, but it was sort of aggressively, like saving its own spot. So speak up for yourself, be strong in that. Speak up for your needs, show who you are. You're already bright star pointing to your own inner love. Hold yourself and feel the gentle self. You already are far beyond what you believe you are.
Love that.
So funny. I was going to ask him for 1 sentence, but you just said it. So I love everything you said, Jeroen. I love it. Say that last sentence again.
I cannot say it literally, but it was about being gentle, and you're already far beyond what you believe or you perceive yourself to be.
Beautiful. Cheryl, what do you want to say to your room?
That's almost some of the word for word what I wrote down for myself. So that that was very fascinating. I was drawn to the light with it radiating, and I wrote that the light to that we all need, not we all need to, is that to just be open to let our hearts and the light in our heart radiate out. And when we move from a heart space, the tree grows and flourishes like that. That picture was so powerful.
Great. Great job, guys. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
So the next time, I'm not sure. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this as a podcast. We'll see. I'm going to take some questions now, but you can do this in a reading circle. Everybody comes to the reading circle with a picture, just a random picture. When I did this with one of the mediums I studied with in person, and she had postcards, you know, that you get at coffee shops, and everybody took a postcard, and I would sit and just read the postcard, do a reading on the person with just looking at the postcard. So the next reading circle you do, or whoever's doing the reading circle, and maybe somebody can do a reading circle doing this, I would have everybody come to the reading circle with a picture. And it could be a magazine picture, or it could be on Google or whatever, and do breakout rooms where you go into readings with each other just using that picture. And you could use the clairvoyancy, you could use hearing, you could use feeling, everything that I did with you guys, and give information. And the thing is, like, when you do something like that, of course you're picking up the person's energy, but I personally like to teach readings where you're taking it from your guides and not taking it from the person. So I'd rather you focus on your guides talking to their guides. That's how I do it. Like, so my focus is on my guides talking to your guides. And then if I was focusing on the picture, I'm really just going to let my guides draw me in and show me the picture and show me what they want me to see and hear and feel and sense and know. And then I'm just going to deliver it. And then, as we all know, as you guys know, the way we deliver information is super important. We don't want to be like, oh, no, you've got to leave that man. He's cheating on you with 5 people. We don't say stuff like that. You know, it might be this relationship isn't feeling like it's serving you to the best. It may not, this person may not be able to see you in your highest light, you know, whatever. So things like that. Okay. So I'm just going to open it up to feedback, questions, or anything you guys have. How was that for you? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the chat. Did you get some answers? Did you feel connected to source? I feel like the biggest thing that's happened to me recently is connecting to a new God for me. Like, I've had different gods. I think we all have over our life, whether we believe in God or not. It's just whatever that universal truth is. And the new one is just like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm not here to suffer. I'm not here to struggle. I'm not here to, I'm here to, it's like what the way Oprah, and I don't know if everybody's a fan of Oprah, but I love Oprah, the way Oprah talks about her relationship with God and how her prayers would be like, just help me to do what I'm here to do. And that full on surrender and that trust to that energy, it's very hard to have when you've had a difficult life, right? It's very hard to trust that higher power. If you've come from, you know, I was raised Catholic for so many years. So I've had like differing opinions about what this God was. And to really surrender to that and recognize that you are here for this incredible reason. And this energy, God, universe, source, wants you to play that out. And if you can really surrender to that and know it, then you embrace something so much greater than you can even imagine. And what I have found is, even though the word I'm using is I'm okay, which is such like a okay word, but it just has such neutral energy for me. And I'm like, I was talking to my therapist and I'm like, I don't know, something shifted where I just know I'm okay. I'm okay. And it's amazing what will happen solution wise, or we'll know what to do and action to take. Okay. So I may end the podcast part here and then stay with you guys here. So we got, Audrey said, yes, that was great. I got some answers. Good. Thoroughly enjoyed it and got answers that are great. Good. Loved it. Amazing how the messages come through. Did anybody hate it and not like it or struggle with it? Because I want to know that too. Loved it. And Sandra said, fantastic. Okay. All right. Don't be afraid to say that to me, because what's good about that is it helps me to know what you want to learn, what you don't want to learn, what helpful, what's not helpful. So it just helps. Okay. No yawning, Jane. That's not allowed. You can say it didn't work, but you can't yawn. No, I'm kidding. Yawning is clearing. All right. So does anybody have any questions for me or anything they want to share before we end? Yeah. Yawning is processing and healing. Anybody at all? Is there somebody who needs to speak up or share? Jane, go right ahead, honey.
Well, it's so amazing because I focused in on the light and on the star, and I did this process earlier today with a woman in Story who had us go to the portal of what is unfolding for us. And so that and this session are just so online. And I thought, okay, Spirit is directing what I am doing, and I can rest and be easy with it. And I can do what I must without having to try to figure it out.
I love that, Jane. Thank you for sharing that, because that's something I've noticed even in myself. And I'd love to know what everybody thinks about this right now. Are you okay with the unknown? On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not okay with it, 10 being okay, where are you all with the unknown? Because like you, Jane, that's what I've been feeling. It's the field of possibilities. As long as I'm making really good choices, I'm showing up in my life, I'm doing the best I can, the unknown is going to be great. I don't need to know any longer what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I can trust it.
Yeah, and trusting. I've had just a very, very powerful afternoon, just one after the other after the next. And after I had this session at noon where I came in, the expression was, knowing I am the light and love of the divine, I can share my stories.
Yeah.
And that light in the tree and grounding. And the animal I got was a lizard slithering on the ground and letting go of all of that I no longer need. And what I did I had a session with a woman who and I shared with her, this is what I'm having a challenge with my spirit, with my memoirs of how do I express the experience of not wanting to be a mother and all of that. And she went and she did this journal on all of these emotions. And it was, whoa. And this was a 3-way where my sister Alice was writing everything that she said down.
Yeah.
And so she says, I have to take a break after this because I have to rest because we don't express emotions in our family.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So this has been an incredible afternoon, and I thank you.
Well, good. Well, it wasn't just me, it was you and all the other things you did. But, you just said something that I thank you, Jane, for all of that is, it's the work we do, we're doing the work, and also, so it's really good. So great job. Great job. There was something else. Thank you, honey. Is anybody not feeling okay and not trusting the unknown? Is there anybody here who's more, because I noticed only a few of you answered 10, 9, 7, 8. So I want to know if anybody is struggling with the not knowing. Is anybody struggling with the not knowing? Okay. Seems like everybody's okay. All right. Audrey, I'm still going to check in with you because I want to. And then we can let you go. So she looks frozen. Audrey, are you there? Oh, Audrey's frozen. Darn. All right. Monique said, I like not knowing. It makes life more fun for me. Okay. Good. All right. Oh, there you are, Audrey. I want to check in with you. Unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, no, actually, because I guess over the last 6 or 7 months, I had a lot going on, a lot of changes. But at that time, I did feel support, and I kept getting the message, we've got your back. So, as I'm going through trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. Yeah, like you said, it's I got that feeling I'm okay, everything's okay. Somehow I'll get through whatever happens, next. And I just I feel supported.
So I want to say a couple of things is thank you for sharing that. There were two things you said. Well, somehow you'll get through. I like the surrender of that. Let me ask you this. Let me not make a judgment on it's not a judgment, it's a projection on this. Does that mean that you're not taking action and not doing things, and you're just waiting? Or does that statement just, yes, I am doing things, but I'm also just surrendering to whatever happens? The second one? Stop muting yourself. Unmute yourself. I want to hear your beautiful voice.
Sorry. Yeah, the second one where I did get to a point where I surrendered, and now I'm at the stage, okay, because during this exercise today, the animal I got was a cat. So it's like, you have to stretch, you need to get out there. So, and I know the universe has a way of kicking me in the butt when I'm not, moving or doing what I need to do. So, I'm getting there. It's slow, but I'm getting there.
So you're talking about physical exercise too, right?
That too, but just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. The question I want to ask all of you to think about, and not today, is why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? I want you to just be with that question with your guides. Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? And I want you to do it from an observatory place. Is it something that you're really meant to do? Is it because you don't expect that you'll get better at something? Is it that you think things won't change? Or is it, what is the reason? And you have to get to the bottom of that, what the reason is. And Audrey, you're not alone. We all do things like this, right? It's like, I know sometimes like, oh, you know what? Just, I don't watch a ton of TV, but sometimes it's like, I watch too much of it, even if it's just an hour a night or 45 minutes a night. I'm like, just put the TV somewhere else, get rid of it. So it's just little things. But why do we do that to ourselves? So I want you to just be with that question. The other thing I want to offer up to you, and thank you so much for being so honest about it, because you're not alone. For those of you who don't know what you want to do, right now, I want everybody to write in the chat something they love to do right now. Something that you love to do. Because when I didn't know, I never got stuck on what I didn't want to do. And I think I never struggled with not knowing what I wanted to do. And I know some people do, and I've never struggled with it because I always just followed what I'd like to do. And I didn't worry about it becoming a career, and it always became a career. Walk barefoot in the park, great. You have no surf, beautiful. Genealogy, reading and singing. I want everybody, I want everybody here to put something in the chat. I want everybody to do that within the next 24 to 48 hours. Because walking in the barefoot in the park is so essential to you discovering what it is that you love to do. Reading and singing is so essential to discovering what you love to do. Walking out naked and barefoot by the ocean shore, whether you're by an ocean or not, so essential. So you have to keep doing the things that you love to do, and then you will figure out what exactly it is that you're meant to do. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I can stay on for a tiny bit if anybody has questions for me. I just want to let everybody go. And like I said, I'm not sure if this will be podcast, but if it is on the podcast, if you're interested in joining Membership for Your Soul, go to membershipforyoursoul.com and you can try it out for a trial. I don't know how long we're going to keep that trial going. membershipforyoursoul.com/trial, and you can try it out for $1 for 30 days. Thank you so much. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, let me just stop.